Hello, whoever is watching this video or come to find this video anyways. You're wondering who I am? My name is King of Nothing. Sorry, my voice cracked. King of Nothing. And I'm in a predicament. If you have seen my other video about how surviving without technology, um, uh, well, with technology, I sort of got stuck in a predicament. I'm in the beginning and end of everything. I'm in the void. Of course, the void is the living nothingness of sounds and cold breezes and barely any light. But guess what? I found a pinch of light. Right there. A pinch of a little bit of light. Of course, it's glowing coldly and mostly dying out slowly. Of course. What are you doing here? You want to talk about something? You want to talk about feelings or dating issue or what you want to talk about? You want to see me do a backflip like I do one right now? Look, I just did one right now. But what do you want to hear a story or something? Why you're nodding your hand? You want to hear a story? Okay. What kind of story you want to hear? Like I have plenty in my head. If my voices can tell me something. Hold on, let me talk to my voice for a minute. Okay. So what, you want to tell me that story? Come on, you can put some better. Okay, fine. Huh. Obviously, you give me a notes here. Let's see. Let's hear that. That's notes. See? Can you hear that? Sorry, this is not the NSSR video. Because I'm not gonna do that to the ears. I'm not doing that weird crap. Oh yeah, I forgot. If you're wondering why I say crap or like, I tried to cuss, like try to cuss words, but I can't because there's a filter on me that allows me not to do that, and the filter is on. Actually, it's on right now. Odd. And also, yeah. So it's not an end of our video, but besides the point of that, it says here, the paper says, note that my voices gave me, says the Free Fools. Oh, that story. Oh, that's a good story to start with. This is episode 1 of the Free Fools. So we start our adventure off in a modern day look. If you ever played GTA 5, any of the GTA 5 game, the old version, the good version of it, where Big Smoke, the meme, like, I want two number 9s, a number 9 large. You know that meme very well. Yeah. So, we're sort of in that, well, not in that timeline, but sort of a look like in present day timeline. So, drugs, alcohol, and mostly gangsters. Of course, many other things. So we start off with these three friends that truly, well, mostly three friends who really like each other and mostly do stuff together since birth. So when they first were born, they all like hold hands. So you gotta imagine. So imagine three babies holding hands when they're like first born, when they're like in this nursery. So imagine them like holding hands together, saying, "Yeah, we're about to be good friends," and they all like started at kindergarten and started growing up, and they all started learning things from their fathers and their fathers and mothers about things. And our first person we're going to be talking about today is, well, today I guess, or tomorrow. Like the voice doesn't have to tell time, um, so the person we're going to talk about is today. Well, person we're going to talk about is the first person, the leader of the group, of coursely, a handsome fellow named Driver. He's very, very into cars. He loves cars. Very much. If you talk about a single car and you say about hate car, he will dismiss you and say, "Oh, cars are the way they are." Of course, he embraced this by learning about his father's demise and also his mother's demise. They're both mechanics, and mostly they both love their jobs dearly. Like his father's into paint jobs or any of those kind of like. He always puts style in his car making, and he always like treated him that way, of coursely. And they were driving back home, and at that time there was a heist going on. So the heist went horribly wrong, and mostly they got hostages. Well, not hostages, but more or less crashed into their car. Both his mother and father got shot and killed. by a few thugs. A rival gang thugs shot him down. He had to saw him at first, and mostly the rival gang saw the little child at hopeless and lost. So they kind of took him up and teach him the ropes. In fact, he learns how to drive and mostly how to mechanic cars. His skill of mechanic cars is a great use to them. Of course, he started growing up and started mostly moving out. He left the whole gang later, but the gang always told him if you need some help, call us immediately. So mostly he did that. We call him up sometimes to talk to them because that's the only family he got left. Next person is well, you see like these characters are similar in a way, so you see when I tell their views. Next person, the view is Soldier. Well, Soldier View. I guess we talk about him because I say his name. So Soldier View is more like he's the best person around. He's like sort of like the person who ready to gun down someone, like ready to shoot someone and ready to go. He knows how to shoot a gun, and mostly he's kind of half deaf. He's like well, mostly he's kind of half deaf in a way, and he sort of lives with his grandma because his both mother and father are in the military, and they both really love their job. Like they really want to work hard and support their country. So, and also immediately at the same time, a group of gang did a heist for some reason at that specific day, where they come back home and mostly went to the bank. Of course, it was a bad time because mostly his father was about to give him some money so he could buy some candy or something with it. Of course, mostly he always have a miniature BB gun beside his pocket. His father buy him a BB gun, and he really I think he still had that BB gun still. I don't know, but yeah, he sort of like was sort of there, and he took and mostly his mother and father and him were hostages and are on a van, and also they crashed into a car suddenly. A rival game show up and mostly started shooting. Of course, the two mother and father fight back with the other gang to fight back, and mostly the leader of the gang, well, the opposite gang, the other gang, kind of shot them both with a revolver, and mostly with soldier out there to lay with a blue room right beside his kidney. Mostly about to be almost killed, and the other gang kind of picked him up and started healing him. Of course, the other gang started running away from the scene, from the cops. This other game was mostly friendly with the cops and might help out to their eyes and ears around the streets. So, the last person immediately, is the pilot. Mostly his name is Pilot. And mostly these names are mostly Donnie's names or actual names. And no, they're nicknames because they go by them. No one knows their actual real name. I tried to ask them, but they sort of told me to go away or piss off or something. I don't know. But back to the story. Pilot was sort of a person who really loves engineering, and mostly his father and his mother sadly passed away in a crash in a pilot, or crashing by a plane. Of course, his father was kind of in debt with some people, so he had to do some things that he shouldn't do. But his son was there. Well, one of his son was waiting him nearby the airplane strip, ready to wait for his father. And mostly that, the rival game is the exact same one that was robbing the heist that did the car crash. Then two, the pilot, and mostly he was the one that actually took him away. Funny to say that he was shot down and crashed by the other group members from the other gang. Of course, he was still alive, but immediately he died in the hospital. It was too late for him anyway, so he was gone. Pilot was kind of sad that day, mostly that he sort of wanted to remember him by doing the thing he loves. And the few of them do what they love dearly, that their family would keep their legacy behind them. The mostly they're all grown up by this gang. It's mostly they wear green a lot often. Their territory is pretty good, pretty average, but the actual real territory the police control over the city, and it's all over the place. They're all over. So if you need something, call them up. They only, well, mostly their area live in kind of have legal limits. You can do whatever you want. You can smoke weed or all that such, but there's a limit to it. So yeah, they could do whatever they like, but no shooting or something. So yeah. So along the work, they all have normal jobs and they all work together for some reason. They all have normal jobs. They went back home, and also they kind of endure because more of them mostly forced to live together in a way, and so they all like live together and mostly have a good relationship. Um, Driver was in the kitchen cooking some food. Pilot was cleaning up the place, making sure, and Soldier was reading a book. Of course, it was a specific time at let's see, what time was it at that time? A show at 12 a.m. called a Mystery World, I guess that's what it's called. An anime showed up. Of course, mostly they all were actually kind of scared, so actually kind of stoked for the new episode came out because they've been watching this series since the day it was made. Of course, the series was pretty good and really good plotline too, like good character development, like good everything. And they all like the free nights were there, so they all got their popcorn, they all got soda, they the soda they have, and mostly of that they had to have cheap stuff, so they have knockoff stuff. And so they watch the anime and stuff, and mostly that they are having fun. And mostly at the end of the episode, it's always in the cliffhangers because the mostly developers of the show really want to have a cliffhanger and see to come back. And mostly they were all gas like, mostly let's start off with this. Doc's like, oh come on, you always get to write the good stuff. And mostly with Sawyer was doing silent was saying that was the worst part of the show, the ending of it. Pilot said it was a good way, mostly having theories and talking about stuff. When mostly that, Pilot started getting up and they heard a weird screech noise, like a car pull up. Of course someone was knocking on the door, like bang, like someone was knocking on the door. So maybe I thought the pilot thought it was, so he opened the door a little bit and said, who is it? Who is it? And said, we are here to collect the debt. What debt? The pilot, the debt that someone made. Pilot was kind of scared and said, I'll give you the money. I promise. You have until a few hours. Mostly, he closed the door. And mostly driver and soldier looked at him. I don't know. And mostly that, he saw mostly a gunfight arose and well, a gunfire arose and starts the door have well a gunfire arose and mostly Polly was on the ground and mostly in pain because he got shot in the leg and mostly he wish he was shot in the chest because he had wearing a vest underneath his shirt, well underneath his jacket and stuff. So they all instantly grab towards him and mostly grab him up and kind of drag him away near a door. And Soldier pick up his AK-47 out of the closet, well, mostly in the umbrella stand. You know the umbrella place where you put your umbrellas. Yeah, he was a gentleman, and mostly he always put them. His AK is always clean. Mostly, it also is a umbrella too, so it's mostly double as that. So he started firing down, laying down shots over them, and mostly driver pick up his micro Uzi and start shooting him. They all thought it was a drive-by or something, but it was kind of different. Of course, the shooting started to stop, and mostly that, it was quiet. It was all too quiet, and mostly that, a loud shriek rose. Soldier was on the floor, dead, immediately. Mostly they were all scared now. Well, mostly two of them are scared because they saw their friend dead on the ground with a big hole beside their head. So mostly that they all went to the kitchen. Well, mostly all of them. Well, mostly pilot and driver went to the kitchen, and mostly that spring up the table. They both said, "Are you?" They both were calm and mostly ready for a fight. So someone kicked down the door. They noticed the body and mostly heard, well, mostly silencer shots in his dead body. Of course, her walking heard a familiar voice. Well, not familiar boy, a really like snobby voice in the air. I could say that he's dead find the other two now. Of course, the soldiers are going away. Mostly these weird people. Like, they're kind of soldiers, but not. They're kind of mercs in a way. So they all went out. Of course, two of them stayed. Mostly look around. Pilot starts, mostly stabbed one, but got gunned down by a pistol. Of course, he was killed automatically. Mostly killed over and over again by a pistol, a silencer. Next, last one of the three fools, last person of the crew, was driver, and he really needs to escape. So he lost all the car keys that you could see from there, but he was still caught by a bear trap. Of course, Snowball person, tis, tis, tis. You run out of your luck. I guess you need to die today. Who are you? None of your business. And mostly got shot in the head. Of course, he thought maybe he's going to hell because, well, mostly thought maybe he's going to HOW opposite, hell itself. I said hell twice now. He thought maybe he's going to hell. Again, 3 times. I counted my cuss words. And mostly he did. He was in this weird void. And he saw a person there with his 2 pals just talking to them. Of course, they were questioning him, but he was silent. He walked up to him, and Mosey walked up to him again. And, hey guys, what's going on? He said. Mosey, this guy started to tell us to come here and said, and this low voice started. Do you know where you are? And Mosey, all 3 of them says, no, we don't. All in exact same line, except Soldier being silent, which he can barely hear again. This place is sort of like the beginning and end to people. A few people come around here, and I sent them on their merry way. You fellows look like you need a little help going somewhere. Mostly pull out a book. I see where you need to go. Of course. Okay. Do you all want a second chance to live? And all not yes, we want to get revenge. Revenge? Oh, just no, I don't do revenge. Of course, they don't do revenge, horror. No revenge. We want to live again. To see our families again. I see. Go that way, south. You'll find what you need. Of course, they all listen to what he says. And also, he gave them their weapons. Mostly, soldier weapons are in a pouch, ready to fire, shoot. Mostly soldiers say in sign language, thank you, and also, he tries to say thank you in his own words. He sort of can't speak and can't hear what he says, so he tries to say thank you. So they all walked away, mostly walked away, and went to this weird place. Well, mostly went to his weird portal and went in. Of course, they all wake up in an alley, feel like crap, and mostly that. Mostly he's groggly, and mostly Pilot's starting to wake up. Mostly shaking driver, and mostly driver shaking soldier. Mostly they're all groggly, and mostly soldier. Well, not soldier, but uh, driver started to stroke his hand and felt something very soft and mostly puffy. It was like cat's ears, and the guys mostly look at his other companions. They all had the exact same. I think we're Navis. I think they're called that. Navis. No, mostly it's mostly pilots start to freak out because they're actually cat people, and mostly that they're wearing some armor. I guess. They have their weapons on them, and mostly have this weird greenish tone. And most soldiers started to calm them both down, mostly by punching them right in the face. Now, I recommend not being punched by the face by a soldier. So yeah, so they both got punched by. Pull. Thank you, soldier, for doing that. Mostly saying songs. Well, you're welcome. So they all look around the place they're in. This place was filled with magic, see floating islands around it, ships started to flow by, and all of that. And mostly that, they all were starting roaming around. They feel like they were like they're in their teens. So about like soldiers in their is mostly in his like 17s. Pilots was in his like not pilot was in his like 16. Well, in 15s, his 15s, yes, in his 15s, and driver was in his 16s. Of course, mostly the tallest one is soldier, then pilot, then the shortest one of the group, driver. Of course, mostly he says that why he has to be short all the time, and mostly call him short stack, short driver, short cars. I guess I don't know what to call them nicknames, but beside the point, they all started roaming around and went over this fence. They went over. They heard like screaming, yelling, saying attack on like this attack on something like a rebellion attack on something inside the school or something like that. And mostly that they all were kind of questionable, saying, "Hey, what is this?" So they all like all look around, see in the front end a few wizards, a few knights, a few like mages, a few rogues, and mostly other stuff happening in the front door, and someone negotiating. Of course, they all look at the person, and they all look familiar. The exact same group that took away everything from them. Of course, they all got mad and furious and want to deal with this, but these people won't deal with it on their own. The hostages will get immediately shot automatically because mostly they feel like the exact same place. So they sort of went around, mostly to the back. No one was at the back, so they sort of started there. They put a mask on, and put on mask is like green stuff. So you put on a green mask on and ready to fight. Load up the gun and said, "You ready?" And all said dead. So that'll be the end of the episode one of the story right now. And hopefully you enjoy that, and hopefully you enjoy my sexy voice. Of course, my sexy voice can be handled if you have an orgasm. Or have a say orgasm. But that's the point about that. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you have a nice day. Have a nice, wonderful day. If or you have a bad day, have a still nice day. Because everything opposite to me is always the same. So yeah, have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. I'll always leave a comment below story ideas, and always use my story advantage. And also keep Patreon side of choice, of course. Also, tell your story in a different fashion. Use my story as a basic launching pad. So thank you for listening to an old man like me rambling about stuff. So thank you for listening, and see you on next time. See you next universe, or probably not. Who knows? Thank you. Have a nice day. Goodbye.